I thought what I'd really do this morning was just to give you a little bit of information about the Scottish borders. A very, very rural area in the southeast of Scotland. It borders Northumberland, a very picturesque area, very sparse population, rich in culture and heritage, and it's renowned for its friendly welcome and community spirit. You can see we're so welcoming that our logo here has weaponry in it. No, thank you. The other thing I wanted to just reflect on when I was starting was the information we had earlier on about potholes. I thought that was quite funny. You were asking is the pothole bigger than a tennis ball? And I thought, well, that's the wrong question. It's, have you driven into the pothole? Can you drive out of the pothole? Do you need rescued when it comes to the winters and the borders? We're blessed with potholes. The services that we deliver in the borders are set against quite a challenging economic backdrop. We have a low-wage economy. We have a growing, ageing population, quite high levels of fuel poverty as a rural area, and poor digital connectivity, all set against the demand, as many public services have across the UK, for more demands from local people for better services, and significant financial pressures on the organisation. Just turning a bit more specifically to those challenges of a rural region, and my reason for really stressing this is that we've done a lot of work with Jadu, as Suraj said, and really the message here is if you can do it in the borders, you can do it anywhere, because of the challenges that we have around internet connectivity, the physical challenges of getting around what is the 6th largest region in Scotland, with no major urban centre and a lot of little towns. We do have a number of government-backed initiatives which are trying to help with that particular challenge. The Borderlands Growth Deal we're involved in, involving 5 local authorities which straddle the border, and also the city deal with Edinburgh that we're also involved in. Not content with one growth deal, we required to have 2. But there's a lot of work to do in terms of our digital connectivity across the region. That just really sets out for you where the borders actually is. Say Northumberland to the south, Dumfries and Galway to the west. A total population of 116,000 people. Only 25 people per square mile though. And as I've said already, a very dispersed settlement population, no major urban centre. We also have quite a significant level of depopulation in the area, and we find that people grow up in the borders, they go to school, they enjoy a very high quality of education, and then they leave. So we have a lower percentage of working age of people than other areas of the country. And people also then retire back to the borders, which explains some of our demography. 29.6% of the population over 75. Faced with all of that, we set a digital vision for the region, which would deal with a range of challenges that we had, really trying to identify ourselves as a smart rural region, using technology for the benefit of our citizens, our communities, our colleagues, and also looking at how we can future-proof the organisation in terms of our future skills and our transformational service delivery, while also recognising the challenges we face around the environment and sustainability of the organisation. So really our message around this is we're digital by choice, but here if you need us, a very much a people-centred approach to service transformation that we've undertaken with Jadu, and a long journey that we've travelled on, and a long journey still to go. Our digital customer access project, you've heard quite a bit about that in a lot of detail this morning already. In other councils, a very similar approach taken with regard to the Scottish borders, trying to create a friendly interface to interact with the council in a seamless digital way. And that saw the decommissioning of our incumbent legacy systems, and the deployment of the Jadu case management system. And I've got some of my fantastic staff here today, Denise and Catherine and Leah, who have been involved in this project. So what we're trying to do here, really deliver benefits to our customers, improved digital interface, consistency across our council services, and also a benefit to the organisation through customer data, better ways of working. I'll not bore you with this slide, but it just really sets out our 6 key priorities around the environment, fulfilling the potential of local people through education, trying to deliver a stronger, more inclusive economy, empowering our communities to be more vibrant, alive places, encouraging good health and well-being, and working together to improve lives. So far, we've delivered over 300 Jadu forms using your technology, and those have been created to support service areas across the local authority. And this is just a flavour. I'm not going to read through that list. Hopefully you can see it, of some of the areas that we've tackled already in terms of our digital interaction. What we've found when we've gone around the country and we've looked at what people are doing in many areas traditionally is a digital sort of front door, a bit of gloss on the front end, and not an awful lot of digital integration behind the scenes. I think that's really changing, and I think the work that Jadu are doing with a range of local authorities, as we've heard this morning, is really driving that interaction and interface in a genuinely integrated digital way behind the scenes. So just a few examples of what we've been up to. As a large rural region, we have 9 secondary schools, over 50 primary schools. School transport is a huge issue for us. We have to bus kids often over quite significant distances. And we've used the Jadu application to look at our whole application process for school bus passes, which has been a major headache, a manual process over many years. And now we've used optimisation software developed with Jadu to ensure that we've got the right number of vehicles for the pupils that we're transporting. In a nutshell, we had far too many places on far too many buses. And we've taken 26 contracts out of our annual bus network, and we've saved in the process £700,000 through the technology that you've helped us to implement. Another really good example of the stuff that we've done just in terms of registrations, the registrations of births, deaths and marriages. We've created a forum with you to allow people to order and pay for a copy of birth certificates, death registrations, marriage certificates over the phone. 1,700 certificates ordered since December 2021, and a significant saving in terms of time for the customer, but also for the staff who are involved in this process. 900 people to date have applied online since December 2021. And a really live example, we've used Jadu software to actually help people from refugees from the Ukraine. A significant number of people have been dispersed across Scotland, including the Scottish borders, as they have been in England. But we've used this technology to ensure that we can meet their needs in a very, very practical way, that we've gone through the necessary checks, that we've managed to match them with host families who they will hopefully get on with, and we really have tried to use Jadu technology to ensure the safety of both the host and guests. So another very, very live and practical example of your technology being applied to help people in need. You've also managed to give us quite rich information about customers and our services. You heard a little bit about that earlier on, and we're also using that technology. And we're now really considering where we're going next. We're wanting to make sure this is more than just a lick of paint on the digital front door. We want to ensure, as I've said already, that everything is integrated behind the scenes and genuinely functioning in a way that's the most efficient it can possibly be. So we're joining up our services, minimising duplication, and trying to create a holistic approach to service design right across the organisation. What we're trying to do in the short to medium term, give more customers more control over their own information through things like their council tax account, their providing them with text reminders and better data security. In the longer term, we're really wanting to look at our customer journey mapping and ensure that we give people the best possible experience from interacting with the council. And it's all stuff that you've heard about already this morning in terms of digital best practice. Really hugely excited about the longer term journey that we're on with you. And I suppose fundamentally what this is all about is us supporting that smart, connected rural region, working with Jadu and our partner CGI. We're also just finally wrapping up, looking at how we can use technology to really target investment across the region from those city deals that I spoke about earlier on, and how we can really use data from our systems to ensure we're getting the maximum return from the investment opportunities that we have as a region. That little map there on the bottom right-hand corner just shows you who's included within the city deal, the Borderlands Inclusive Growth Deal. 1.8 million people across those 5 regions, which cover Cumbria, Carlisle, Northumberland and the south of Scotland. And really, I suppose what we're trying to do here is to ensure that we use the technology at our disposal to build on our strategic values. We want to be a people-focused organisation, an agile organisation. We want to be inclusive and fair, back to Addie's point, and ensure that nobody is digitally excluded, that we're designing services to meet people's needs, and that we are sustainable, that we're using technology to take cost out of the business wherever we can. Thank you very much for listening. I'm happy to try and take any questions if there's time for that, but if not, we'll maybe catch up over coffee. Thank you.